Hi everyone, Materim here again with another narrative battle report. And this one is going to introduce the Skaven to our current narrative with a game against my Empire at 1750 points. Engineer Snarkit paced back and forth, his whiskers twitching nervously. He had never in his short life dreamed he would meet the Chief Warlock, and now here he was coming to his tiny corner of the Under Empire. Longing Brook's fall to the dwarf things was perhaps the most fortunate thing to happen to Snarkit, since he had been sent here 1 year ago. His plan to infuse poison wind gas into the town's water supply had already killed many man-things, and others were already succumbing to disease, their bodies weakened by warpstone poisoning. Snarkit knew it was a brilliant plan, but now his success had drawn the eye of the Chief Warlock himself, a fact which both excited and terrified the young Warlock engineer. The sound of metal clanging against brick echoed down the dark sewer corridor, followed by the hissing of steam. Snarkit did everything in his power to withhold the musk of fear as the imposing figure of Claw emerged from the darkness into the flickering light of Snarkit's warp energy condenser.
Chief Warlock, Clan Scryer welcomes you to Longing Brook. We are most pleased to...
Snarkit was cut short as Claw grabbed him about the throat with his gauntleted right hand. Before speaking, his rebreather hissed along with his slow breathing. His raspy mechanical voice then echoed through the tunnel.
Silence, Snarkit. I did not come for your groveling. I am here to appraise this man-lair as the new testing ground.
Struggling against the iron grip of his master, Snarkit choked out,
Yes, Chief Warlock. Let me live, and many man-things will die.
Claw released Snarkit from his grip, dropping him to the ground where he half collapsed.
Your experiments with poison wind are promising. Yes. That is why you live today. Now before we can begin, I must test my weapons to make sure they survive the trip here undamaged. Prepare the clan rats. We will test them on an outlying man nest.
Coughing to regain his lost breath, Snarkit responded quickly,
Yes, Chief Warlock. Your will be done.
And so the Skaven forces encounter a token defense of Empire troops that are here to oversee the reconstruction of Longing Brook. Those of you who follow my other battle reports will notice that this is the same battlefield that we just played the invasion fight on from Battle Report 42. We just played it the normal length way and turned one of the walls 90 degrees. So really the only thing to take note of is the center pyramid in the center there is still in arcane ruins. So it gets extra channeling attempts. So other than that, everything else is pretty straightforward. So starting deployment on the Skaven, what is my left-hand side, is a single doom wheel. Then in the center, up front, we have a unit of clan rats. There are 41 of them with 40 of them full command, and a warp fire thrower team to the right of that, hiding under the edge of the building. Behind that is another unit of clan rats. I believe it's another 41 with full command, and a warp thrower to the left of that. In that back unit is Claw, who serves as the Skaven's general, as well as a chieftain who is the BSB with the banner of the Under Empire. In the front unit is Warlock Engineer Snarkit with the Death Globe and a Warp Energy Condenser. And then in the back is the Warp Cannon. Warp Lightning Cannon, I think it's called. And then on the right flank is a unit of 40 Skaven slaves and a unit of 6 rat ogres. And I think there are 3 or 4 handlers back there. I can't quite see, and I seem to have lost that page of my opponent's list. So with my army, I went fairly minimalistic. On the left is a unit of 10 Inner Circle Knights with full command, the Standard of Discipline. With them is Sir Helmut Veerbaden, my general, who is a Grand Master of the Empire. He has the Sword of Might and a Dawnstone. In the center is a unit of 30 halberdiers in horde formation. With them is Felix Weishoff, my level 4 mage of the Lore of Light, with a Dispel Scroll. Father Eric Rotschaff, my warrior priest with the armor of meteoric iron. And Captain Derek Hostberg, who is my BSB with the Sword of Battle, Enchanted Shield, Luckstone, and Potion of Strength. Behind that is my Celestial Hurricanum. And to the right of the halberdier unit is a unit of 3 Demigryph Knights with with only musician and standard bearer, and they have the steel standard with them. And then on my right flank, I have Hans Flugman, who is my witch hunter. He has a brace of pistols and the Arabian carpet, and he has named Ikit Claw as his heretic that he's hunting. And up there behind the hill that the tower is on is my unit of 10 halfling huntsmen with just a standard bearer. But luckily for the Skaven, they spread out enough so I can't get behind them. Excuse me. Can't get behind them with my scouting, so that's about as good as I can get. I'm hoping to get up in that tower and shoot the rat ogres till I can kill the dudes controlling them and leave them stupid. So, unfortunately, Skaven get first turn, and on the right he moves up very aggressively with his ogres and slaves, which I don't like. I'm really hoping to avoid getting my demigryphs held up by the slaves, because I'm pretty sure he's planning on trying to do that and then just lightning canning them into non-existence. In the center here, he moves up the clan rats and its warp fire thrower, which actually makes me pretty happy because that puts them in pretty good range for some charges. A little bit long charges, but at least the demigryphons will make it, and that'll let me hopefully get rid of his mage so that I can kind of increase my magic superiority that I already have, since I'm beating Ikit Claw. He's only a level 3, and Felix is a level 4. And of course he brings up that back unit of clan rats to support, along with its warp fire thrower, just to make sure everybody is within range of the BSB and the general, and will be able to countercharge if my halberdiers hit the first unit in the front. So on the left flank, I didn't get a picture of it, but he moved the doom wheel close enough where they were going to blast my knights, and I think he rolled like strength 6 or 8, something like that. But he ends up killing 3 knights with the doom wheel's blasts. And then I got very lucky in the fact that his warp lightning cannon fell short and only did a few little wounds to my halberdier unit. I think he killed 3 halberdiers, so I was very, very happy about that. So we go into Empire turn 1, and I get pretty lucky. I slam the demigryphs into the flank of his clan rats, but I fail a charge with my halberdiers, so they're just kind of stuck there. On the plus side, I still think the demigryphs, even though only 2 of them can get in because of the placement of his warp fire thrower, I'm still going to chew them up pretty good, and I do manage to get some buff spells off on them, so they're going to go in there and chew stuff up. Now, more distressingly, I failed my charge with the knights into the doom wheel, so he's going to end up having the benefit of charging them first. I'm still thinking maybe they can hold out against it, particularly with my general in there. He can do some pain. Hopefully he'll kill the doom wheel, and I'll be in good shape as far as that goes, but it's not a certain thing on that flank at all. And then over here I move my Celestial Hurricanum up, kind of straddling the fence there, so that he can give his bonuses to as much as he can. He can't quite reach the demigryphs, so no +1 to hit for them, I'm sad to say. And the spell I got off on the demigryphs was the one that gives them always strikes first and an additional attack. For the life of me, I can't remember. Briona's Time Warp, that's it. And then over here on this flank, my halfling huntsmen move into the building, and Hans Flugman marches so that he's behind the unit of rat ogres. I figure maybe he'll pop off a couple of shots at them next turn before moving on to hopefully try and go deal with Icket Claw, although I'm not entirely sure how he's going to have room to fit where he can get a shot at the general. So what little shooting I have is very minimal. I think I put a single wound on a rat ogre. But the demigryphs do a huge amount of damage to the clan rats here. I think I kill 7 of them and I might take a wound in return. It wasn't very much. But the Skaven are pretty hard to break even with the benefits I have, and they're steadfast, so they stay. So we go into Skaven turn 2, and he charges the slaves into the ass end of my demigryphs. And again, I'm very nervous here. I haven't played Skaven in a long time, and I kind of was forgetting about how bad clan rats suck, particularly against one-up armor saves. So I was kind of nervous here. On the plus side, he failed a charge with the rat ogres, and they just stumble up here. So that's going to give me a turn more to shoot at him with my huntsman and Hans there to hopefully kill the last of their pack masters off, so they'll just be stumbling around stupid for a while. And of course, as I feared, the Doom Wheel comes barreling into the front of those knights. I'm pretty sure he's going to kill at least a few more. I'm hoping that I can get my general in there and do some major hurt on the Doom Wheel. I probably won't kill it this turn, but maybe if enough of the knights survive, I'll get it next turn, or maybe I'll even break it. So that could be good for me. And over here, one of the warp fire throwers goes into the building, and the other one just comes around to the other side of the clan rat unit, as you see right there. So both magic and shooting were a complete fail, which was super hugely important for me. So we go into combat. He ends up killing 2 of my knights. I think I put a wound or 2 on him. It wasn't very much. I lost but stuck and reformed like this so I could get the maximum number of knights and my general into contact with the Doom Wheel. So I'm hoping maybe next turn to be able to handle it. Over here in the center, I've still got Briona's Time Warp on, so I don't even pay any attention to the slaves and peel off like another rank and some change of clan rats. But still, they're stubborn. They're not going anywhere. They're still within range of both the BSB and the general, so I think they're like an 8 or 9 rerollable. So they're not going anywhere. I'm just killing them by the bucketful. So then we go into Empire turn 2, and I slam my halberdiers into the flank of the clan rats, slam my Celestial Hurricanum into the flank of the slaves, hoping just to get as many wounds in as I can and keep the fighting units within 6 of the Hurricanum. Now, I don't quite realize that, yeah, I'm destroying this, but I'm kind of walking into the Skaven's plan at this point. So my magic, again, I buffed the living bejesus out of the demigryphs. I think I get both speed of battle and Briona's Time Warp off on them again. Magic is just very, very much going my way. And shooting, I managed to kill 1 of the Packmasters and finish off 1 of the Rat Ogres as well. So we go into combat, and I got lucky. I lost 1 more knight, but ended up doing 2 more wounds to the Doom Wheel, and it broke. Unfortunately, I rolled like garbage for my pursuit roll and did not catch them, which has me in a dangerous position if he can rally next turn, because I'm just going to catch more of that Doom Wheel blast, and I'm really not looking forward to that. Over here, it was just messy. I mean, the puffed up demigryphs just tore into the rat unit. I think there are 3 of them left. The impact hits killed 3 slaves. Nobody else took a wound, except for my mage who had miscast Briona's Time Warp and took a wound from the miscast. But other than that, we are just beating the tar out of some rats there. And it was enough. The 3 remaining clan rats broke and ran. You see them right in front of the building there. and the slaves broke and exploded. I think they did one wound to a demigriff from their explosion. Knowing that I had that second clan rat unit to deal with, I did not choose to pursue and managed to succeed my restrain. And now this is where I wasn't realizing how much I had played into the rats point, because we go into Skaven turn 3, and those warp fire throwers just open up on my halberdier unit. Ikit Claw has one, and there are two others. They just blow my unit to Kingdom Come. I think I've got 5 halberdiers plus my characters left when they're all said and done. But luckily, I managed not to panic. The Doomwheel rallies, turns around, and lets off lightning blasts, which kill my general over here. So yeah, that was not good. I didn't have at least 5 dudes, so he ended up just blowing the general to Kingdom Come, which was not happy, particularly since it was only a strength 4. And so I had a 2-up armor save and re-rollable and rolled 2 1s, so that was bad. Plus side though, the Warp Lightning Cannon misfired and blew itself up. I still don't really think that's even, because I think the Warp Lightning Cannon is like 90 points or something stupid like that. And my general was, well, let's just say he was considerably more than 90 points and leave it at that. Now, unfortunately, I left some pictures out, so this picture may not make sense to anybody. But I forgot to show that this turn, the clan rats charged into the front of my demigriffs. There was a pretty bad fight, but I was still puffed with the demigriffs, so they won. But one of the demigriffs did die. The rat ogres broke, and I chased them to this point. So sorry I didn't take the pictures to set that up, but the demigriffs did win another fight on the Skaven player's turn. And that ogre unit getting destroyed panicked one of the warp fire thrower units, which fled just to the outside of the building. Then on Empire turn 3, Hans Flugman charged it. It ran off the building. Ran off the board. I redirected into like the last remaining clan rat from that first unit that broke, and he ran to this point. He'll end up like by millimeters not going off the board, which was frustrating. But what is left of my halberdier unit with the characters and what is left of the 2 demigriff units slam into Ikit Claw's unit. And I'm still feeling pretty strong there. I'm not sure how nasty Ikit Claw is, but I may be able to challenge him out and keep him from killing everything while the demigriffs just absolutely go to work. And over here, I charge my my other knights into the Doomwheel, hoping that the 4 attacks or 5 attacks, whatever I get with lances, are going to be enough to take the thing out. I think I only have to do 2 more wounds to it to kill it. So I'm hoping that I can take care of that. Otherwise, it's just going to eat the knight unit for breakfast. And that is exactly what it does. I get my buff spells up on my demigriffs again. And the Doomwheel, I've totally fluffed my rolls. Nothing gets through the Doomwheel, and it eats those knights for breakfast. I think 1 survived, broke, and ran, and he pursued it to this point. And over here, Father Eric Rotschoff, my battle priest, fought Ikit Claw in a challenge to a standstill, and the demigriffs went to town. I did a lot of damage, ended up breaking them, and they fled. And were run down. So this is what the board looks like at the end of the game. Being that my opponent only had 1 warp fire thrower and the Doomwheel left, he chose to concede at this point. So I was pretty happy we caught that last last clan rat unit. It is very difficult to believe that this town is not cursed, Felix thought to himself. In the span of a few weeks, Loningsbrook had been nearly leveled by dwarves, and now the Skaven. Luckily, the Arch-Elector had sent him and Captain Hosberg to oversee the rebuilding of the village, or these people certainly would have been slain by the Ratmen. Felix shook the dark thoughts away and made his way to the building that Captain Hosberg had set up as a guard station. He had taken a prisoner that they thought was an important member of the Skaven force, and the captain had spent the night interrogating him. As he walked in, Felix took note of the small rat-like being tied to the chair. He didn't look maltreated, but he still had that beaten look of a broken prisoner, and despite himself, Felix felt pity for the creature. "Good morning, Felix," Captain Hosberg said as he entered. "This creature calls himself Snarket, and has provided a wealth of information to us. He apparently values his life more than his loyalty to his fellows." Felix looked at Snarket, and for a brief instant thought he saw a glimmer of cunning in the prisoner's eyes, but it was gone in a flash. "Oh? What's he told us, Captain?" The leader of this force was an engineer known as Claw. According to this one, Claw has been living under Loningsbrook for nearly a year, using his machines to poison the water supply. The Skaven believed that this poison was what allowed the dwarves to conquer the city so quickly, and they attacked to become slaves for those that remained before returning to their undercity. "We should send word to the Archlector of this, and summon engineers from Nuln to build water purifiers." "Agreed. We also will be reinforcing the garrison here so that no other forces believe it to be an easy target." "And what do we do with him?" Felix pointed at Snarket, who was looking just a little too innocent to be believed. "I've given my word. He will be released in exchange for the information that he provided." Felix noted the predatory grin that flickered on Snarket's face and held up a hand. "While I agree you must honor your word, we simply cannot let him go as he is." Felix said a word of power, and one of his fingers began to glow with a bright, purifying light. The mage used the finger to burn a small rune into the hair and skin on Snarket's face. Though there was no pain, the room was soon filled with the smell of burnt rat hair and Snarket's squealing. Felix then grabbed the rat man's face and forced him to meet Felix's gaze. "Know this, Snarket. You've aided the cause of the Empire of Karl Franz, and as such I have marked you with the sign of friendship. And since we are an honorable people, the magic within the sign will glow and proclaim your friendship, as well as allowing me to locate you if you're ever in danger." Snarket's eyes widened in fear, and he quickly ran from the room as soon as he was released. Captain Hosberg looked at Felix impressed. "I didn't know you had that sort of power, Felix." The mage shot him a boyish grin. "I don't. All that rune'll do is glow like a torch. And, of course, cause some problems for Snarket and all of the kinsmen he just betrayed." So, we had a victory for the Empire, and, I may be that this is my first victory with the Empire since I've taken them over. I don't quite remember. It was very decisive. I think I am kind of starting to get an idea of how to handle them. And light magic is awesome. I really love the buffs. I mean, the light of battle plus Briona's time warp, or no, sorry, not light of battle, speed of light, and Briona's time warp is just an amazing combination. I mean, initiative 10, weapon skill 10, always strikes first with an extra attack. I mean, those demigriffs were just chewing through rats left, right, and down the center. The only thing I felt kind of disappointed with was my inability to roll a 2-up armor save and keep my general from dying to the Doom Wheel. And I think in a larger game, I might not have worried about the Doom Wheel too much, because I could have had a cannon or something that could have taken it out, but it can be difficult to deal with in only a 1750-point game. So, the other thing that kind of annoyed me is I forgot the entire game about the potion of strength that Captain Hosberg had. So that was a wasted 20 points. But as it was shown, I didn't really need it. All in all, I thought my opponent's list was good. I got really, really lucky that I managed to control his magic pretty much the entire game. I'm trying to remember, he might have gotten one spell off the whole game. It was really... I grabbed the magic phase by the cojones and didn't let go for the entire game. And between that and his lightning cannon doing very, very little, it ended up killing 3 halberdiers the whole game, I think, and then blew itself up. So I got very, very lucky, even in the shooting. I mean, I caught three of the warp fire throwers in the face, and still had a unit after it was done. So even that, I consider myself very lucky. Although I think next time I need to pay more attention to where those weapon teams are. I had kind of not forgotten them, but I discounted him since he didn't start firing with them immediately. And I didn't realize he was willing to throw away 40 clan rats and 40 slaves just to move my army into the right position. And I think that's exactly kind of how a Skaven player should play. Uh, and I should have foreseen that, because if the dice had went a little bit more his way, I would have been in trouble. I could have very easily have lost that game to all of that warp fire, and God forbid if I had like failed one of the panic tests from the shooting, it would have been bad. But all in all, it was fun. I'm very glad that the Skaven are in the narrative now, as the only other army this particular player had in the narrative was the Warriors of Chaos. So now we can get some different games out of him, and we're definitely looking forward to it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If this happens to be your first of these videos you've watched, please subscribe and check out all of the others in the narrative battle series, so that you can kind of understand what's going on in the stories. But please, as always, like the video, put in any comments you might have below. I'd be particularly interested in any ideas people might have to turn this 1750 point Empire army that I'm using to a 2500 point, which is a little bit more the speed we use. Kind of what things you might suggest adding to help take what I've got and make it more effective. But all in all, thank you guys for watching, and we will catch you next time.